You know, the more I look at Henriette, the more I realize, yeah, that is probably the perfect example of what I would imagine Sharina's mother to be, which is going to be such a shame if she ends up dying. Please don't die. Come back as a mythic hero or something towards the end of Book 3, I'm sure. But anyways, hi nerds. I wanted to ask you guys how you felt about the story now, how things were changing, how things were altering, and, well, I have to say, Book 3 started off really, really strongly for me, because it did something that I've been wanting them to do forever, since the start. And that was actually develop, you know, some of the Asker Trio into actual characters. You know, people who we can really care for, and examine them a lot deeper than just what they were before. Book 1 was a mess. It was the villain of a day kind of thing. Veronica's there, she's in, you know, contracting heroes, sending them out. Blah, blah, blah. She didn't really have much development. Book 1 just meandered. Book 2 came in, and it started off strong. We got that really awesome trailer. We got to, you know, see Fjorm be badass. And then throughout most of the story, Fjorm was the adverse of that. She was, you know, the opposite. She was just sitting there, and a lot of times she was just kind of crying, too. So, I nothing against Fjorm. I like her a lot, but she did not do much when it came to the actual story. And this time, we're actually taking it back and looking back at the characters that, you know, we got from the start, which is something we sorely needed. I understand introducing new characters like, say, Air is going to be, you know, odd to see how that's going to actually expand upon, but this is something that I've really wanted them to do for a while, and it looks like the focus is going to be heavily on Alphonse this time around, at least until maybe what is going to happen in future chapters, aka Sharina dying. But, well, you know, as well with that, I feel that Air is actually a little bit better than Fjorm was introduced at this point. She does not have the simple terms of, oh, I'm just going to join you because I want revenge. It seems Air has some sort of sticking situations with, you know, her mother and needs to figure out what she wants to do. Should she support her? Should she not? It's a really odd dynamic there as well, but so far I've actually been enjoying that a lot more. There are a few issues with this, namely, you know, we're gonna have to wait until, I believe, the middle of January to actually get an expansion onto the story. So, I mean, I can't really say much other than, you know, so far, so good. A good start to a story that I was a little bit worried they would just continue on with what they were doing last time, which is just, you know, occasionally putting out a storyline chapter and then just not really expanding upon that. There's a lot more written dialogue in this form as well. And if that's what's going to be happening from here on out, just sign me up, fam. Sign me up for that one. There's also a bit more with Veronica. For those who are fans of Veronica, she seems to be buddy cop with, of all people, Loki, which is just, you know, sure, why not? That's a fantastic thing. She's already bullied a bunch of other little girls. Why doesn't Loki just bully Veronica now at this point? The one thing that I'm really interested in seeing how this is going to play out is if we're actually going to be going into the really darker elements of this story. Are any of these characters actually going to die? Is Sharina actually going to really, you know, end up biting it? It looks like Veronica and Loki are going to be around to help us, at least in some regard, based on the trailer that we saw. But if, you know, Sharina actually dies, chances are she'll come back. I know a lot of people are like, oh my god, don't kill Sharina, but you know, the real thing here, the real case I really want to wonder about is where the hell is Fjorm? Like, Fjorm started off at the end of Book 2, with like a little bit of like, oh, I'm joining the Order of Heroes. I feel it's much better than where I am right now, so I'll go do that. Sorry, Reed, I'm leaving. And then Book 3 started, and there's a white-haired lady now, and I don't know where Fjorm went. So if anyone actually knows where she went, it would be nice to see. The funny thing is the implications with a lot of this. You know, if characters actually do die and we end up losing a lot of, you know, these characters, chances are the parents are probably going to go. But the thing that I'm wondering is going to happen is since we're technically in the land of the dead and heading towards that whole thing, there's a very strong possibility we might run into, you know, and I hate to say it, we could run into Surtur, we could run into any of the other big portions of Muspel. We could even run into Gunthra and, you know, those who have perished as well. So it's going to be a very odd little thing that we're going to have to look into. I will say that much. But it should be exciting. Yeah, you know, The only thing, of course, is that delay, and I'm sure we're gonna get Xenologues and a lot of other stuff that are just going to follow along those lines, but... I mean, Xenologues, Paralogs for, you know, seasonal events. But, so far, I'm actually pretty impressed with what's happening on the screen. I don't know about you guys. How do you feel about the new additions to the story? Are you enjoying everything that's come from it? I also like the style of everything that's happened so far. Mostly because there's a lot of great music. I actually really enjoyed the trailer music as well, you know, the really, really hard rock. But it was honestly a welcome change from what we've had before. And it's a strong opening. I'll give them that. So, yes, continue on with the storyline. Don't fall into the old holes that you did with Book 2, please. I really don't want to see Alphonse, you know, upset or Air just, you know, not doing anything for the whole story until the very end. Make it count, guys. Make it count. I swear to God. Anyways, do tell me what you think in the comments, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.